You're on Kevin Hart's LOL network.
No.
You done with that?
That ended like 2 years ago.
Kevin, people's taking shots at Kev. I know Kev a little bit. But I think he's great at what he does. I know he's an extremely hard worker. He puts a lot of time into his craft, and he's built a platform that tries to elevate people. Oh Lord.
I think that's his goal, but I don't know that his staff has the same fervor for that he does.
Okay.
And I don't know that he's I'm saying this literally, like I don't know if he's necessarily empowered them to do that. Mm-hmm. I literally don't know. I know that he voiced his intentions to me, mm-hmm. but they were unable to be carried out.
Right.
And I have no hard feelings. Kev looked out for me in a situation that was, Live Nation tried to like cancel my whole tour. And I had to call people I know that, got the juice.
Right.
And Kev answered the call.
That's unbelievable.
And it was a time where I didn't have other jobs. So if I didn't do them shows, there was no money.
Right.
Because my man made no money. And he wasn't trying to make no money. So I was the only one making the money.
Right.
And I remember sitting in my living rooms, like staring off into space, and he came in because I was quiet. And if Amanda's quiet,
yeah,
we in the problem. And my ex, he came in and was like, you good? And I was like, no. Because if I don't do these shows, we will not have money.
Right.
For the bills. And so I really appreciate Kev because he didn't have to do that, and he did.
Right. Bring the funny. You spoke highly of that. Chrissy Teigen, Jeff Foxworthy, Kenan Thompson.
I do have a radio show now, though.
Tell us about it. What do you get to talk? What do you like about the radio show now? Because you're very opinionated. You have a lot to say, and when you're on the radio, you get to take your time and go. Tell us about your radio show. People that are listening, Amanda, for the first time, what can they expect?
To listen, laugh, and learn. They're gonna laugh and they're gonna learn all day long. I love my radio show. Mm-hmm. Radio One Reach Media, they've just been such great partners. It really showed me what it's like to work in a place that sees you. Mm-hmm. That came correct from day one. I never have to convince them of anything. They respect my wisdom about things. They respect my awareness about things. So I don't have to, try to win over. And I always thought that my own show would be a TV show, mm-hmm. but it's a radio show, and it ends up being so much better because I have so much freedom. And I get to speak to people right now we're syndicated in a number of cities, including DC. We're on Magic in DC. We're on 103 in Philly. We're in Houston on the Box.
Right.
We're in major markets. And I just didn't realize that people really be listening to TV. To radio. Mm-hmm. People really be listening to radio, Shannon.
They do.
And so it's just been really great to see how many people, so we do a word of the day where I teach a vocabulary word. And this bus driver, I went to Selma for the commemoration of Bloody Sunday. Yeah. And this bus driver in Alabama, because we were on in Muscle Shoals, she was like, I just want you to know that I play your radio show in the bus for my kids.
Wow.
And she was like, our favorite segment is the vocab segment.
Right.
So I have my co-host Supreme, and I just make it my business. I take it very seriously that a lot of people are only getting this news from me. Mm-hmm. So I just make it my business to be very fact-based, mm-hmm. and then opinion.
Right.
Because I think we've gotten in a world where we can't really tell when it's facts and when it's opinion.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous.
Very. You talked about your time on The Real, and you talked about the bad. Did you have any good times on The Real? Was there anything that you liked about your time there?
I like my team in my dressing room. Listen, your glam squad in those situations be your family because you there so early in the morning every day.
Right.
Let me just be clear though. Like, people like to say that I have issues with my co-hosts on The Real, and I have never voiced that, and none of them have ever voiced that.
Right.
And my issue with The Real was about the executive leadership of The Real and the fact that we couldn't talk about. Like, they would say things like, I remember Tamara wanted to talk about wine, and they were like, well, black people don't drink wine. So we're not going to talk about wine.
Wow.
I'm just like, how's that a thing? But I don't want to say that I didn't have a good time at the Real. It's just that I walked into it and I got blindsided. That's really what happened, Shannon. I got blindsided. I thought that this was going to be a space where I could like really be myself, because when I would guest host, they were so embracing.
Right.
And it just ended up not being that. But you know what really happened at the Real? I reminded those women of their voices. That's what they always tell me. Because they had gotten so used to the bull that they had just laid down their swords. And so I get there and they would be happening. I'd be like, oh, hell no.
Right.
And they'd be like, well, we didn't even know we could say no.
I'm reading, and I read this, and I'm like, when I was doing about the black publications, no, that spoke out against you. I mean, because you speak so pro-black, and just because you're pro-black doesn't mean you're anti-this. That means I want my people to do really well, and I want my people to understand and be informed and understand the power that they have. Mm-hmm. It had to have hurt to have these black publications.
I had a nervous breakdown. Mm-hmm.
Talk to me.
It's just the willingness of folks to sell their souls for so little. And I feel like that's what you have to do to like put your gift of being a writer to work in such a nefarious way. Mm-hmm. I ain't met none of these people. I ain't done none of these people. I like to think that they were paid by APAC, because if you didn't get a check for this and you just did this just to do it, I'm just like, damn, that's unfortunate for you. But that's a place that I've arrived at.
Right.
Initially, it's crazy to be excoriated in the public in general by like, just people.
Yeah.
But like
publications where they're supposed to have people that are journalists that have integrity.
These ain't blogs.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's crazy. Like the last time this happened was with this Myron Roll situation years ago, where I was put in a very up situation. I had to make a judgment call.
Okay. And
people have based my entire character off of this judgment call. People who have never been in this situation. But I did the best that I could with that situation. And I have been affirmed in that choice. But I think that what people fail to understand is that you be in scenarios where you got to make a judgment call.
Instantaneous. You don't have.
You just doing the best that you got with something that doesn't have a blueprint.
Right.
And so now there's this whole narrative of Amanda Seales hates black men. That it has literally no water. If I hate black men, I want a refund. I want a refund, Shannon. You know how many brothers I have lifted up? I want a refund. I done paid probation fees because the niggas can rap and I want them to be able to live in their talent and their truth. I done talked to a damn PO to vouch, Boldy James, and you owe me money. But like, there's just something very wrong about these places feeling compelled to just speak about somebody with no facts. At least quote somebody I've worked with if you're going to say I'm difficult to work with. I mean, it's burning bridges in Hollywood. Baby, there ain't no bridges in Hollywood. This Hollywood is a shark-infested pool. The only bridge I built was to get me out of it so I would stop getting bit. So please, stop telling me about burning bridges and then they're in there talking about, oh, she's hubris. Do y'all even know what hubris means? Hubris is a mythological character from Greek mythology who was told by the gods, don't look in that pool. Don't look in that pool. And hubris said, man, I'm gonna look in the pool. He defied the gods. Mm-hmm. He looked in the pool and he saw his face. And he was so enamored by his face that he drowned in the pool. So hubris is not someone who is necessarily enamored by themselves. Hubris is the story of a person who defied God. Now you tell me in this whole interview, where have I showed you that I'm somebody who is defying God? I live by God.
Right.
I am spoken to by God. I speak the words. So don't tell me about these words. So journalists using these words so gratuitously is dangerous. It's so dangerous. And I am obsessed with words. I'm obsessed with words, Shannon. I love them so much. And I know that there's people who have lived by the word. If you are somebody of a religion, you live by the word,
Right.
Whether it's the word of Allah or the word of the Bible. You know, if you're somebody who's a lawyer, you understand that this Constitution and the words that are not in it are what continue to keep us oppressed. Words matter. So to have all these people using these words that I love so much against me damn near killed me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness I'm on Lexapro. Because had I not been on this antidepressant, I feel like I would have gone down a much darker hole. But I have a great psychiatrist and I have even better friends. So when you talk about people protecting you, baby, I am protected. I am so loved. And that's why it's so wild to see people saying I'm not likable. You are right. I'm not likable. I am lovable. I'm so loved. And it's like I'm in a place right now where for the first time in my life, I feel like the love for myself and the love people have for me are at the same level. And I've never experienced that before. And it took a long time for me to learn that I even had the right to love myself. You know, people say these things like, oh, don't be full of yourself. You better be full of yourself. Mm-hmm. You better be full of yourself, because then what are you full of? You don't want to be hollow. And you also don't want to be full of everybody else's validation of you, because who are they? And baby, they will run away. When shit go low and they gone, you're empty. Mm-hmm. You better be full of yourself. And I have had to learn, as somebody who had a nervous breakdown and was brought to the bottom, and realized that all of my confidence was built on other people's thoughts of me.
Other people's validation.
Everything. And I had to build myself back up. And luckily I had a therapist who taught me to do that. And I had to build myself back up. And so I tell everybody now, like, no, please be full of yourself and love yourself. And, you know, particularly women, we're not told that we're allowed to name ourselves.
Right.
I am a genius. I'm a gifted performer. I am a gifted person. I am a creative genius. I'm generous. I am giving. I am kind. I'm funny. I'm delightful. Like, these are not things that I need to wait for somebody to say about me. I know these things about myself. Aren't we supposed to be God's children?
Yeah.
And that's not based in religion. That's just based in understanding. That's how I live. I, as a spiritual person, I believe I am a child that was made of something other. I don't know what we were made of, but I know that I feel like I was made of something supernatural. And I have a responsibility in that to live at my best. And people don't want to let you grow. People don't want to let you evolve. People don't want to let you find better ways to exist. People are talking to me about from 2005, some interaction they had with me for 30 seconds in 2005. Now you tell me, are you judging people based on a 30-second interaction?
No.
Because why? You might say we had a bad 30-second interaction.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
I'm probably gonna never see that person again, so I don't have
the same week,
reaction one way
the
or
same
another.
week that people are telling in these articles, Amanda Seales is so terrible. She has boundaries, etc. The same week they talk about Anthony Mackie. Why don't let that man have his boundaries? I'm like, I can't call it. I can't call it, and I've decided to stop trying to call it. I put the phone down.
The Queen came to your defense, though.
Yes, she did, because I'm loved by the people I love, and that is the biggest honor. Queen Latifah, Dana Owens, okay?
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because you know we like to do something before two something.